first story is titled, Am I the a-hole for refusing to listen to my parents and wanting to sue my cousin for a prank? I, 31 male, recently had my cousin 21 male move in with me after he got kicked off his college dorm and had no job to pay for rent. My parents told me I needed to step up and help because I won a house, live alone with my 2 golden retrievers and 2 birds that I had since last year. My cousin would make fun of me whenever I call my pet's family and thinks I'm crazy. He has a bad sense of humor and thinks it's funny. He calls me funny nicknames like Robot, /Terminator, /Optimus Prime, and others, because I wear a prosthetic leg that I've gotten after I had an infection 2 years ago. I've been patient with him causing a mess, and not even doing his own laundry. It's been 3 months and it's too much already. So recently, he started doing pranks and using personal things in his pranks, like clothes, /my phone, /stuff from the kitchen, etc. I usually take off my prosthesis before going to bed, and since I work all day, I go to bed early, unlike him. He stays up till 3 to 4 a.m. He decided to do a prank and hid my prosthesis somewhere. I saw that it was gone in the morning. He did it twice before, and hid it in his room and the garage. I had enough of his nonsense. I asked him where he took it, and he joked and said that it was inside a fridge. I was livid. I started screaming at him to stop it, and to tell me where my prosthesis was before I kick him out. He realized I was being serious and told me that it was in the attic. I let him go get it, and when he brought it to me, he looked worried and started apologizing when I saw the sockets had cracks. The adjustment pyramid and pylon were damaged. He told me he hid it under the old TV and didn't think it was this fragile. It was there overnight, so the damage has already been done. I lost my crap. I yelled at him, while all he did was apologize, saying, "It was just a prank, bro," which made it worse. I told him to leave and called my aunt to tell her about what her son did, and that she needed to pay for the damages. Her reaction was shocking. She said that it was my fault because I knew how her son is, and decided to take him in anyway, and that she won't take responsibility for his actions. I told her I'd seriously sue because I'm broke and have no money to pay for a prosthesis, and crutches are unbearable. I was so angry. I kept lashing out at everyone, especially my mom and dad, who argued with me and said that I can't sue family, and this is my cousin and he meant no harm. I told them that he created the situation and needed to fix it. They called me awful for refusing to wait till Christmas is over and family gathering is over, then they'll figure something out. I told them to stay out of it, but until now, they're telling me to not cause an issue. We're in the holidays and suing my cousin will make them look bad to everyone. I'm stuck here with crutches feeling awful after they all tried to shut me up and told me to wait till holidays are over, then they'll raise money for me, and my cousin gets away with it. Edit. My dad offered to fix it himself, but this is ridiculous. He thinks that this is some object like a CD player or a TV he can fix. I called him ridiculous to his face, and I didn't let him touch it. He clearly thinks it's no big deal. I stopped taking his calls after that because he doesn't realize how big of an issue this is. Now for the top comments of this post. Not the a-hole. Dude, you've got to have your leg for God's sake. He/your family need to replace it immediately. Expecting you to use crutches till after the holidays to save Christmas or whatever is abusive nonsense. There wouldn't be trouble to start with, had your grown cousin not ruined your prosthesis with a terribly stupid and immature prank. My parents only care about what outsiders think about them, and never solve an issue or deal with a problem, and expect me to just take it because we shouldn't be treating family like this. In other words, they have no respect for boundaries. If they only care what outsiders think, start a GoFundMe explaining exactly what happened, and that your family won't step up to rectify what is effectively their collective mess-up. Totally agree. Start a GoFundMe page and spell out exactly what happened and that your family is not making things right. I would include your cousin's name and everyone else. Then post it in your Facebook page with a link to your GoFundMe page and why it exists. If all your family cares about is how they are perceived in public, let them the negative attention for what happened. If they cry foul, tell them you gave them a chance to make things right and they didn't. A GoFundMe account may have a twofold purpose of helping you with your prosthesis and publicly humiliating your family. Now you know why your cousin is so effed up. His parents never held him accountable for his actions. I would kick him out of your house immediately. I am wondering if there is potential for some type of criminal charges. Definitely consult an attorney. Not the a-hole, but your cousin and family are big time. Added to add that you should call every member of your family, except Anne's family, and let them know how sorry you are that you will not be able to see them over the holidays. And let them know that Cousin X thought it would be funny to hide your prosthesis and damaged it to the point where you can't wear it, and Cousin Eddie's parents won't agree to make good of what he did. Let them know that you will be putting up a GoFundMe page to try to get a new prosthesis and would appreciate any help that they could provide as you have no means to deal with it all on your own. Not an a-hole. Your family is enabling your cousin to be an a-hole. He's 21, past time to get a job and start being responsible for himself. His parents can take him back in if they want, but you are certainly not obligated to. I don't care what he's going to do. I'm not taking him back. I've been too nice, and he caused me an issue that was preventable and now refusing to take responsibility, and the family's backing him up and making excuses for him. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my sister her oldest stepkids are not welcome at parties / in my home again? My older sister Jess has been married for the last decade to her husband Michael. Michael was a widower with 5 kids when they met. The kids are now Kyle, 17, Ella, 16, Josie, 13, Emma and Chase, 12 in the new year. Jess and Michael also have 2 kids together who are 5 and 2. To make a long story very short, Kyle and Ella have never accepted my sister Jess in their lives. And I will say here now, they despise my sister for marrying their dad. They despise her for being their younger sibling's mom. And they despise her for having more children with her dad. They have never stopped despising her. Over the last 10 years, my sister has talked to me so many times about how much she has struggled to find a bond with Kyle and Ella. She has tried. I will never say she hasn't, but they don't want anything to do with her. They have acted out so many times. They have been in therapy, but they don't want it. And it feels like they're always being grounded for treating my sister horribly and ignoring the youngest too. I remembered our brother's wedding 2 years ago. Kyle had an outburst in front of everyone. That my sister was nothing, and she needed to screw off and leave him and his siblings alone, because they would never really love her, and she would never be as good as her mom was. Michael tried to get him out of there, but Kyle was mad. The venom in his words was mind-blowing, and honestly, it was then I truly believed he truly hated my sister. Before that, I had bought what everyone said, that he and Ella just needed time to come to terms. But I truly believe he hates her. This brings me on to why I'm writing this. Back in early February, my oldest turned 3, and we had a small party at home with some family and close friends. Kyle and Ella treated us terribly, and while it's not exactly a shock that they don't like us, Ella told my 3-year-old that they weren't cousins, and to screw off and leave her and her brother alone. Then, she and Kyle made a big deal out of being included in a photo of all the cousins, which led to them both making my brother's son, 6, and their sister, 5, cry, because none of us are their family, and we can all screw off and leave them the hell alone. They also said something about my sister that blew us all away. Jess and Michael left with the kids, and afterward, I thought about it, and I decided that enough was enough, and I needed to protect my kids. So I told Jess that Kyle and Ella are not welcome in my home and they will not be invited to further parties. Jess thinks I'm behaving unfairly because they are family, and how will they ever come around if they are excluded? I think she's a little crazy to think they will come around. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Just because she's okay with how her stepkids treat her, doesn't mean anybody else should have to deal with it. They clearly don't want to be there, so she can't force them, and can't force anyone to accept them. I wonder if their lashing out like this is to get banned. It sounds like Dad remarried about a year after Mom died, which is absolutely horrible of him. I'm surprised no one else has pointed this out, since this makes me feel so bad for them. It's understandable that they don't want anything to do with OP's sister and her family when, to them, it probably feels like Dad replaced Mom as quickly as possible. Ban them. They will probably appreciate it. Not the a-hole. The sooner Kyle and Ella find out their actions have consequences, the better. Maybe let them come one more time, and say to their faces why they aren't welcome in your home any longer. In front of everybody too, since that's how they roll. Oh, I don't believe they will care. They hate us too much to care about being excluded. It's what they want. Info. What exactly is the timeline here? And how did your sister and her husband meet? Based off what you've said, they've been married for 10 years. Presumably, Dad didn't jump right back into the dating pool for a bit after his first wife died. And since the absolute longest she could be dead is just under 12 years, That leaves 2 years for him to grieve, meet your sister, and get married again, all with a newborn baby. That's pretty damn fast. The oldest 2 children would have been 6 and 7 when they got married, and were probably 4 and 5 when their mother died. They probably don't even have solid memories of her. And in my experience, unless there's something else going on, children that young don't get that violently angry at their step-parents and hang on to a grudge for a decade. This all just doesn't add up. He met and married my sister within a few short months of his first wife's death. Now for the last story. Would I be the a-hole for keeping something I bought as a gift? I, 25 female, will try to make this as short and sweet as possible. Also, sorry for any formatting errors. I'm on mobile, and I'm in the middle of working a double on no sleep, but this has been bothering me for about 3 days now. At the onset of the pandemic, my husband, 26 male, and I wound up unemployed and had to move in with my parents. My dad, 50-ish, and my stepmom, 40-ish, are the most wonderful humans in the world. My stepmom's mother, who I'll refer to as M from here on, late 70-ish, not so much. We moved in at the end of October, after our lease expired at our previous residence, and a couple of days after moving in, M asked my husband and I if we had any Christmas wishes, and was adamant that price was no object. She's made it very clear the past 17 years that she didn't want her daughter marrying my father, and that the added baggage of my sister and I made it even less ideal. But I assumed, because she asked me, that maybe she wanted to bury the hatchet, so I was honest. I mentioned wanting a new sewing machine. I showed her the one I wanted, which is about $200. I didn't think much of the exchange until last Friday, December 18. M was leaving to go see a family a few states over for the holidays, so she called the family to come over so she could hand out gifts. I was just getting home from work, so my cousins, aunts, and uncles had already begun opening their gifts. 3 of my cousins and 1 of my aunts got the exact sewing machine I had shown M. All the other kids got stuff like video games, hoodies, sneakers, and gift cards to different places. I admittedly got a little excited. I went last. M handed me my gift. I opened it, and it was a sewing machine box, filled with new towels. She said, "I know you guys having money troubles. Thought that might be helpful." I waited until everyone left, but was genuinely upset because I know that she knows we have towels, washcloths, etc. because we brought them with us from our old place, and we have our own designated cupboard for those things in our bathroom. When I got my new job, I took my first and second paycheck and started buying gifts for everyone. I spent nearly $150 to order a giant hand-woven, dyed, and beaded tapestry from a local indigenous bead artist for M. I wanted her to get something I knew she would love and cherish, because I thought maybe we were getting past the previous 17 years of hostility. She and I are both close to 50% indigenous, and it's a big part of her lifestyle and aesthetic, as it is mine. I genuinely don't know at this point if she was trying to be malicious, but I feel she was, having me open it in front of everyone, and I felt absolutely humiliated. My stepmom and dad agree with me and say I should keep it, as does my husband. But when I ask a few family friends, they said they think it sounds like I'm mad that I didn't get an expensive gift. I feel it's blatant favoritism. Would I be the a-hole if I kept a tapestry for myself? Edit for clarity. Because of work, I wasn't able to go pick up M's gift in time for the impromptu gift exchange, which is why she hasn't gotten it yet. Not the a-hole, but gift her the box it came in and fill it with toilet paper. Always useful in a pandemic environment. Haha, this is genius. You know, because shops run out and times are hard. OP, you are definitely not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. Personally, I'd talk up where you found this beautiful indigenous gift you found for her. How exceptional it is. How you think it would really bring you two closer. Then, when she unwraps it, it's just the damn towels she gave you. Then again, I am a vindictive a-hole when I want to be. The other option is to give it to her. Talk up how you know she couldn't afford to get you a sewing machine too, considering she spent so much money already on your cousins. You wouldn't have wanted to burden her anyway. Clearly, it would be way too expensive for her to afford another. But here, I got this for you. It cost a pretty penny, but I think you'll really love it. Ooh, I like this. Regift the towels back to M. Sorry, M. Money's so tight this year, and I thought since you thought these towels were such a good gift, you could also use them yourself. Update. I called my stepmom on my 15-minute break and told her that I would not be giving her the gift and that I would be getting her something else. I don't know what yet, but I'm sure I can come up with a terrible generic gift between now and New Year's. Thank you all so much for your honesty and candor. Why give her anything at all? I wouldn't. Here's my reasoning. She did this to upset you. Giving her an intentionally horrible gift not only plays into her game, and this is a game to her, but also shows that her attempt to upset you worked. I'd forgo a gift entirely and send her a thank you card for a gift. Include in it that I would have loved to have returned a kindness, but as you know, the pandemic has been hard on us. So I just wanted to let you know how much it meant to me that you gave us something so useful. It is exactly what we needed. That way, she can't make you out to be the bad guy because she was the one who initiated the pandemic has been hard on you talk, and because you expressed gratitude for her gift. And if you make it seem like you felt the gift was thoughtful and needed, she will not have the satisfaction of feeling like she got you. And that's the end of this video, folks. As always, leave a comment and hit like and subscribe. And if you want more of this content, turn your notification on to get updated on the latest videos. And I'll catch you with the next one. Stay safe. Am I the a-hole for being such a B to my dad's wife after my mom died? My 17 female parents got divorced 6 years ago because my dad was cheating. His wife, Hazel, worked with my mom and knew us, so the breakup was bad. My brother, 19 male, and I didn't think much of our dad after finding out what he did, and our relationship with him was never the same. We never liked his wife, and over time, I grew to hate her. She expected things to be okay, and of course they weren't. I don't know why she thought my brother and I would like her, or why she thought my mom would care about what happened to her. Things got even nastier when the divorce was finalized, and my dad married Hazel. She was pregnant but miscarried a few days before the wedding. She called my mom to ask her to take us to the hospital to see her, and my mom said no. Hazel cried over the phone to my mom, talking about her miscarriage and how she needed her family around her for support. My mom told her she had no compassion for the woman who broke up her marriage. Hazel then called my mom again, claiming my mom set a bad example and asking her to think about the sibling my brother and I lost. My mom told her she was glad it happened because we wouldn't have to deal with a half-sibling from her and dad since they were both cheating sluts. I think she said sluts, but I couldn't hear everything. Hazel went nuts and never forgot what my mom said. Once I was old enough, I stopped going to my dad's house too and ignored any contact from Hazel. I only spoke to my dad occasionally, so my mom wouldn't get in trouble for not encouraging contact. Hazel, however, would sometimes show up when my dad did and would act hostile toward my mom, expecting us to side with her. My mom was diagnosed with cancer in January and passed away 3 weeks ago. My brother and I were with her when she passed. Dad came over when he heard and insisted we go to his house, even though we didn't want to. Hazel was there waiting and tried to hug us, but we shut her down. My brother and I were crying, and I asked my brother how we were supposed to deal with all this. Dad said he was there for us and that we needed to lean on him. Then Hazel said that bad influence is finally out of our lives, and now we can work on building relationships with each other. My brother cursed at her and told her to shut up. Hazel responded that our mom was to blame for how we acted and said it was sad we didn't see her for the disgusting POS she was. She even brought up the phone call years ago and said I heard what my mom told her, yet I still chose my mom. I told her she was twisted for thinking I'd ever choose my dad's mistress over my mom. I also said she was a disgusting, nasty person and deserved everything my mom had said to her and more. Hazel lost it, and my brother took me to our grandparents' house. Dad tried to stop us from leaving and begged me to come back, but I said no. We've stayed with our grandparents since. My brother and I have shut Dad out completely and didn't tell him anything about the funeral, even though he asked. Hazel has tried reaching out to me, but I ignored her. Now both Dad and Hazel are texting me, saying I need to apologize for being so awful to her because it's not her fault mom died. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Hazel really said, I broke up your family, disrespected your mom, and now I'm the victim? Girl, what? The audacity is on sale and she bought the whole shelf. You don't owe her a single apology. She's been messy since day one. Keep chilling with your grandparents and brother. That's the real support squad. You forgot the fact that she was happy about their mom dying and said it out loud in front of OP, her brother, and dad. Dad didn't even have the spine to stand up to her after her horrible comments. Right after her mom died, I just lost my mom. If someone said that to me, I would go supernova. Block Hazel and your father and stop picking up their calls. You're not the a-hole. You and your brother only have each other right now, along with your grandparents. You need to mourn your loss. Losing your mother is a debilitating and tragic loss that you will carry for the rest of your lives. You are almost 18 and becoming an adult. Tell Hazel that you will get a protection order and charge her with harassment if she keeps up with her nonsense. Condolences to you and your brother for your loss. Hazel is nobody to you, your brother, or your family. You need to find a way to mourn your mother and ensure you and your brother receive her Social Security survivor benefits and any life insurance benefits. You are both almost adult beneficiaries. If your mother had a will before her passing, make sure it is executed. Get professional help and consult a lawyer to assist you and your brother in securing your mother's assets from her marriage. Again, you are not the a-hole, and my condolences to you and your brother for your loss. OP, please get a lawyer and ensure your mother's estate is settled. I'm so deeply sorry you have to navigate this loss at such a young age. Please get a good lawyer to review everything and make sure you and your brother are taken care of. It wouldn't shock me if your dad and Hazel try to swoop in to help take care of the assets. Again, I am so sorry for your loss. Just keep moving forward through the pain. I'd also recommend speaking with a therapist to help you as you go through the stages of grief. Sending you and your brother love. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not paying to take my son's girlfriend on vacation? I have two sons, 22 and 23. They both have serious girlfriends they have been dating for over 2 years. Jordan's girlfriend is an amazing young lady. She has a great head on her shoulders, is sweet, smart, polite, good to my parents, responsible, and balances my son perfectly. They make a great team. Tyler's girlfriend, on the other hand, is selfish, entitled, manipulative, and dislikes our family. She scares me and the rest of the family and friends with her behavior. Both of my sons are in love and plan to marry these young ladies. I was divorced when both boys were in diapers, so it has been the three of us for years. We are very close. We have always traveled together. Jordan's girlfriend has been on 2 trips with us that I paid for. A trip to Vegas for Jordan's 21st and a charity boat poker run on Lake Michigan. Both of these trips involved bars, so Tyler's girlfriend, who was 20 at the time, was not invited. She became angry that she wasn't included. My husband of 2 years and I own a vacation home on a lake. My husband planned a guy's trip for 1 week. Tyler's girlfriend got irate because she wanted to use the house that same week, the week before she turned to college. Tyler has now informed me that his girlfriend must be invited on all trips and I will be expected to pay for her or he won't come. My husband has said she is not welcome at the vacation house until she stops acting so entitled. We were planning a family vacation to the Bahamas for Christmas. Per Jordan's request, I canceled the family trip, upgraded my husband and me to first class in a suite, and decided we'd enjoy the trip without them. Jordan thought the family trip would be miserable with Tyler's girlfriend there and wanted me to have a good time. Now Tyler and his girlfriend are furious. Am I the a-hole for not paying to take my future daughter-in-law on vacation? Not the a-hole. This isn't about playing favorites. It's about respecting boundaries and behavior. You're not the a-hole. You're not obligated to pay for anyone's vacation. Jordan's girlfriend has shown kindness, responsibility, and appreciation, so including her on trips feels natural. Tyler's girlfriend, on the other hand, has been manipulative and demanding. It's not unreasonable to say no to someone who behaves that way. Honestly, if someone demands to be included or throws a fit when they're not, that's on them. Tyler's ultimatum says more about him than you. He's free to skip trips, but you're free to set the terms for your own vacations. He can make his own decisions, but he doesn't get to dictate yours, and you shouldn't be guilted into funding someone who doesn't even respect you. Amazing on Jordan for pushing to have you enjoy that trip and having the wherewithal to see the obvious problem. No comments other than the entitled girl is so out of touch with reality, it's terrifying. Jordan's response says a lot about his character too. He clearly values family and recognizes what's best for everyone involved. It's a shame Tyler is prioritizing his girlfriend's tantrums over family dynamics. Setting boundaries is essential for long-term harmony. Not the a-hole. She's not even family yet, and she's already acting like this? Lol. You're not obligated to fund her vacations, especially when she's being so disrespectful to you and your husband. Tyler needs to wake up and realize this is not normal or acceptable behavior from a partner. You did the right thing by setting boundaries. Enjoy that first-class suite. The fact that those kids just expect her to pay is baffling, and they threaten they won't come otherwise. Plus, she wanted to use a house she doesn't own. What a joke. I would have said, I guess we won't be vacationing together then. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my mom's boyfriend his kids will never be family? Roughly more than a year ago, my mother introduced me to her boyfriend. Since then, my 3 siblings have been introduced to his 3 kids, and our families have been merged. Although we still live in separate homes, his family is over at our house all the time. It's very obvious that he is purposely leaving me and my older siblings out of the family plans. Last year, during Thanksgiving, I was informed only 3 days beforehand that all of his kids, including his adult child, my 2 younger siblings, and my mother were going to visit our grandparents 6 states away. My older sibling and I were blindsided. We didn't have enough time to pull together funds or arrange time off to join them. When we brought this up to our mom, she simply said, "I guess you can join us next time," and added that she thought we already knew. This left me and my sibling alone for a week during Thanksgiving. We each ended up going to separate family members' houses who we don't see often. Both of us were deeply hurt by this incident, and it made us reflect on how many family trips they've had without inviting us or telling us until the day off. We kept our mouths shut until now. With Christmas approaching, we were worried they'd pull the same stunt again. Thankfully, they didn't, but we were told to make sure we got his kids gifts because they're now our siblings. Having to buy gifts for 3 people we aren't even close to really sucked, but my sibling and I begrudgingly did so. Today, I found out that his kids weren't getting any gifts from my siblings, not even the adult child, despite them all having jobs. This really ticked me off, and I ended up lashing out at both my mom and her boyfriend. I told him I didn't care about him or his kids, and that if he wants to play family, he's doing a terrible job acting like a father. He retorted that he doesn't need to share his life with adult kids, and that, to him, we're just part of my mom's past. I'll admit I got nasty after that. I told him his kids were baggage and that my mom didn't need more children to deal with. I said I'd never look at his spoiled brats as family. My mom started crying and her boyfriend screamed at me to leave. So I did. I'm currently staying at a friend's place, but I'm wondering if I went too far. I don't care if I was an a-hole to her boyfriend, I already know that part. But was I an a-hole to my mom? I just want her to remember she still has 2 kids who see her as their mother, and she can't just forget about us because her boyfriend won't acknowledge us. Edit. I'm 20 and my older sibling is 17. I only referred to them as older because they're older than my 2 younger siblings, who are both under 10. I pay half the rent and household expenses at my mom's house, and without my contributions, we wouldn't have a roof over our heads, as I'm sure everyone knows how expensive it is to live independently right now, let alone with 3 kids. I plan to go back home and understand that her boyfriend can't kick me out of the house where my name is on the lease. For now, I'm cooling off. I just wanted to clarify some things for everyone. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole, but your mom needs a reality check. Me and my sibling were blindsided as we didn't have enough time to pull together funds or time off to join them. We brought this up to our mom, and she simply said she guesses we can join the next time and she thought we knew. That left us alone for a week during Thanksgiving. Your mom is being pretty cold-heartless here. My sibling and I begrudgingly did so. We don't remember how it got brought up today, but I found out his kids weren't getting any of my siblings' gifts. Not even the adult despite them all having jobs. If you're a grown man who's married to someone with children from another relationship, Why are they expecting her to spend money on your kids? Are there no other options than for her or him? This really ticked me off, and I ended up lashing out on both of them, specifically my mother's boyfriend. I told him that I don't care about him or his kids, but if he wants to play family, he's doing a terrible job acting like a father. You are absolutely right in your assessment here. You have every right to be angry and upset. Your mom has abandoned her children for this man who doesn't even acknowledge them as such? Yep, you pay half the rent and bills, and this dude comes and stays at your house with his children all the time. Then he has the audacity to yell at you to leave a house you pay for? Nope, shut that down right now. Firstly, if he and his kids are there, they need to be paying their share. Secondly, he needs a reminder of whose name is on the lease and who's paying the rent. You need to have a serious sit-down conversation with your mom. There's no way it's fair for you to be financially contributing this much and then being treated like you don't matter. Your mom needs to be reminded that her children should be her priority, not some entitled guy she's dating. Last story. Am I the a-hole for confusing my baby sister into believing I'm her mom? I'm 16 female and my dad passed away last year. My parents were divorced before that and they used to split custody. My mom has been remarried to my stepdad for years. My baby sister turned 1 a couple of days ago and my mom is 5 months pregnant with a baby boy. I guess the problem started when my sister began teething. It was at the beginning of summer break and my mom would just let her cry it out alone in her nursery. My sister is loud. Not only was it annoying, but it was also kind of sad because she's just a baby going through pain alone. So I started picking her up and trying to soothe her. Being held and chewing on her fingers seemed to help. And after seeing a TikTok of a teething baby using a cucumber, I tried that too. It worked like magic. I thought babies only teeth once, but I was so wrong. It became a routine for me to take care of her a lot. Mom didn't seem to care as long as she wasn't crying, and I actually liked hanging out with her. It wasn't 24/7 obviously. I had a part-time job and friends, but whenever I came home, she would practically leap out of mom or stepdad's arms to come to me. She also started fuzzing a lot whenever mom tried to put her to sleep, kicking and crying, but she didn't do that to me. With me, she just cuddles up to my chest and falls asleep. I thought this was just normal baby behavior, but my mom was fuming after my sister's birthday party. My sister wouldn't let mom hold her for pictures or during the cake cutting. Then my grandma made a comment about my sister and me being like Siamese twins, which I took as us just being close. I didn't think it was a big deal. My mom was clearly upset though, and after the party, she told me I'm confusing my sister into thinking I'm her mom, and that I need to take a step back. But what am I supposed to do? Ignore her when she cries or babbles for me? It's not like I push my mom out of the way to get to her. Usually, mom is napping or in the bathroom, and I just don't want my sister crying her lungs out. Not the a-hole. Your sister prefers you over your mother because your mother has failed her as a parent. From the sounds of it, you're the only one who comforts her when she cries, shows her affection, gives her your time, and cares for her needs beyond the basics. Your mother is a bad parent. Who leaves a baby to scream and cry and thinks that's okay? If she wants to throw a hissy fit over the fact that her teenager is a more attentive parent than her, let her. Keep doing what you're doing because you're helping your sister more than you realize. I just want to clarify that she doesn't ignore her, but when my sister was teething, she said there's nothing she can do for her anyway, because it's something all babies go through. Yes, all babies go through it. That's why we have hundreds of ways to manage it. Parents have been soothing their children through teething for as long as humans have had teeth. Even if you can't stop the pain, the comfort of someone being there and paying attention helps. Your mother was seriously harming your sister emotionally by ignoring her. Not the a-hole. When I was younger, my mom would lock me in my room thinking it would make me go to sleep. It didn't. It traumatized me. I hate the dark and being alone, and she didn't care. She neglected and abused me throughout my childhood. And only now in my teens am I realizing how horrible she really was. She calls it rebelling when I don't want her near me. Please try to get out of that toxic environment, like I'm trying to do. No mother should feel jealous of her daughter for being a better parent than her.